Bungling Burns, number 2, the titles. Burns wrote many songs, obviously, and he did not give them all titles. Sometimes he just would say song. And so people will generally use the first line to indicate which song it is, which is fine. However, he did give many of his songs titles, and we know what they are. And James Kinsley generally printed Burns's titles in his 1968 book, but in 1992, I believe it was, Donald Lowe printed the complete songs of Robert Burns and titled all the songs by their first lines, dismissing Burns. They're not even in the notes to the songs, not the titles. So you have this massive book, and then this book was used by Fred Freeman pretty clearly to record the complete songs of Robert Burns on Lynn Records in the 90s and early aughts. Unfortunately, he did not include any of Burns's titles in the listings or the notes either, and when you're going through 13 CDs and trying to get your head around these songs, and you see a title like Now Nature Hangs Her Mantle Green, or Now Rosie May Comes In With Flowers, makes it very difficult to come to terms with the piece, because the title of Now Nature Hangs Her Mantle Green is actually Lament of Queen Mary on the approach of spring. So we know what the song is about. It's Mary Queen of Scots' lament from prison. Now Nature Hangs Her Mantle Green doesn't tell us this. Now Rosie May Comes In Wi' Flowers. That title is The Gardener Wi' His Patel, which is a planting stick, which is sort of the, it's the repeated phrase of the song. It's the punchline of the song. It's the title. Why are not Burns's titles considered part of the work, is the question. Now there's a very famous song which people call Scots Wha Hae Wi Wallace Bled, or just Scots Wha Hae. It's listed on Wikipedia as Scots Wha Hae, which means Scots who have. Burns's title is Robert Bruce's March to Bannockburn, or alternatively, Bruce's address to his troops at Bannockburn. This tells us what the song is about. Scots Wha Hae means Scots who have. It's a really stupid title, isn't it? But it's what people have decided to call it, and so apparently what Burns's title was for it can simply be dismissed. So let's imagine in a couple of hundred years, Joni Mitchell's songs are known by their first line. So, Woodstock would be called, here's the Joni Mitchell song, I Came Upon a Child of God. Here's a Bob Dylan song called Once Upon a Time. He called it Like a Rolling Stone. Isn't that interesting? Or here's, Sounds of Silence by Paul Simon. That was his title for it, but we call it Hello Darkness My. It's disrespectful is what it is. I'll give you a few more examples. The small birds rejoice in the green leaves returning. The title is Chevalier's Lament. Chevalier, of course, Bonnie Prince Charlie. This tells us what the song is about. Here's a song which no editor has bothered to publish with its title. James Kinsley hid it in a footnote on a different page. I Murder Hate by Field or Flood is actually called On the Great Recruiting in the Year 17 during the American War. So that was one of his early songs written during the American Revolution. Does haughty Gaul invasion threat? The title is The Dumfries Volunteers. There's a song I just saw listed as Gay Fetch to Me a Pint of Wine, First line is actually Go Fetch to Me a Pint of Wine, but let's be as Scottish as possible on all occasions, even if Burns wrote Go. So Burns's title for that was not "Gay Fetch to Me a Pint of Wine" or "Silver Tassie." It was "My Bonnie Mary," which again is the repeated motif line. And so on and so forth. "The sun he has sunk in the west." The title of that song is "Song in the Character of a Ruined Farmer." "There was three kings into the east." Burns's title is "John Barleycorn." Hello. Burns's titles. So yes, the complete Songs of Robert Burns is lacking, in fact, their titles. So this is Bungling Burns too. Stay tuned for more. There are many, many layers to the onion. We'll get into, I think, the bungled song forms in the Scots Musical Museum, his first song publisher. Some of these things have remained to be corrected after 235 years. So that's what we're up to here. Please subscribe, and please use Burns's titles when you record his songs. Thank you very much. They're not hard to look up. James Kinsley's book is generally good on this. Talk to you soon.